Hello everyone, welcome back to Grade B and very good afternoon to all of you. So today we are going to read about contract costing. This topic was pending for like so much time and we are going to do this today. One particular thing about this topic is that this particular topic is related to the specific costing. We have known that there are two types of costing. One is specific costing and the other one is your operations or process related costing. Correct? In process or operations related costing, the product, the output, what you get is same, all the outputs are same. That is called as mass production. Whereas when we talk about contract costing, this is known as the specific type of costing. That means you get large contracts like the contract to build roads, the contract to build bridges, highways, etc. etc. For all these contracts, these are so big contracts that you have to treat each contract as unique. Each contract is unique from one another and hence every contract will need a specific statement for itself. So this is called as contract costing. The other but a smaller part of your contract costing is part of your contract costing is your batch as well as your job costing. This happens in job costing as well, that there are small number of jobs that you carry out and you find out the costing for each of the jobs separately, right? So let's understand. Contract costing is a form of specific order costing where job undertaken is relatively large. So the difference between job costing and contract costing is relation to in its size. And one more thing, there are so many different terms which are being used in contract costing, correct? There was one student who told me that, ma'am, whenever you will teach contract costing, please try to cover all the important terms. So in this particular lecture, I have tried to include every possible term that can be used in your contract costing. So please stay tuned and I hope that after reading this particular lecture, after listening to it, you will be able to, you will be able to have a confidence in contract costing. Let's see. So, contract costing is usually adopted by contractors who are engaged in the task of executing civil contracts. Let's see what are the features of contract costing. The major part of the work in connection with each contract is ordinarily carried out at the site of the contract. Obviously, you cannot build a road while sitting in the office. Road has to be built at its site only. So every contract is having a unique site, like you must be building a railway bridge or a highway or a overbridge, any kind of things, correct? Next is the bulk of expenses which are incurred by contractor are your direct expenses. See, what are direct and indirect expenses? Such expenses which are very important in order to incur for the completion of contract and which can be identified in the final result that are called as the direct expenses, whereas your indirect expenses are which are ancillary to the main expenses, which help the main activity. Suppose the cost of transportation for the material which you are bringing to the site, you are spending on its transportation. That is what? That is your direct expense. That is particularly necessary. But suppose there is a manager who is visiting the site of highway. Now the expense which has been incurred on the stay of manager is not a direct expense. It is not helping me in the production or in the construction, but yes, this particular expense is in relation to this highway project and hence I will treat them as indirect expenses. Correct? So the bulk of expenses in contract costing is direct. The indirect expenses mostly consist of office expenses of the yards, stores and works. A separate account is usually maintained for each contract. There is a separate account for each contract. Why? Because each contract is unique, is having a separate identity. It is just like that you are building each product as a unique product. So you are finding out the cost for each product. This is not the case when we do batch costing or job costing. In job costing as well, you will have a single job for which you will find out the cost. But this is not the case when we carried out process costing. In process costing, all the expenses are written together and are divided by the output. Correct? Next. The number of contracts undertaken by a contractor at a time are few. Obviously, you cannot take the contract of building 100. You cannot take the contract of building 100 roads, right? That is not possible. It may so happen that if you are a large company like L&T that is into construction, if you are a large company and you are having so many employees who are working under you, then in that case it might be possible for you to carry out quite a few contracts, but in that case also the numbers cannot go beyond a certain level. This is not humanly possible. So always number of contracts which are taken by the entity are few. Now we'll talk about the costs which are involved in your contract. Cost as well as the treatment. See, first thing is material cost. In this particular thing, I have taken the material which you will be using, the material which you have returned, as well as the material which you might be selling as a scrap. So see, all the materials which have been provided to you in order to complete the contract should be debited to the concerned contract account. Now, what is a contract account? I'll tell you. Do not focus on the nitty-gritties of it, just focus on the common sense, right? So, when I'm preparing contract account, this is the debit side, this is the credit side, right? In the credit side, I will receive the income which I am receiving out of this particular contract. So I will be writing all the incomes, or in short I can call it as contract revenue. You will write it over here. Now, in order to earn this particular revenue, what are the expenses that you need to incur? All the expenses will be written by you like this. Finally, if your income is more, means your revenue is more and your expenses are less, then you will witness what we call it as a profit. Right? You will reduce expenses from income, and this is how your contract account will be prepared. So now when I am talking about expenses, I am just talking that if material has been incurred, labor has been incurred, overheads has been incurred, so all these will be debited over here. Once we will finish talking about expenses, then we will talk about the incomes that are received under contract costing. Now see, this is very important to understand the basic terminologies in contract costing, because that confuses quite a few students. So let's just move to that. We were talking about your material So all materials supplied from the stores or purchased directly from the contract are debited to the concerned contract account. In case return of surplus material appears uneconomical on account of high cost of transportation, same is sold and this is credited with the account, your contract account is credited with sale price. Any profit or loss will be transferred to the costing P&L. If there is any theft, then that will also be transferred to the costing P&L. Now all the expenses which are not directly relevant with the contract account will be transferred to the costing P&L. Sometimes what happens is, suppose we are building a highway. I have brought some raw material. Now that raw material has already been applied and there is some part of raw material which has been left. This is not useful for me now. Now I have two options, either to transport this raw material back at the location or to sold this particular thing. Therefore, they are saying that if transportation is very high, then in that case you can sell that particular raw material on the site and credit this in the contract account. Whatever the difference will be, that will get into costing P&L. So this might be not very important for you. What you have to just remember, all the materials which you are charging will be debited to the contract account. Next is, we are talking about labor cost. So labor who are actually employed on the contract is treated as direct and the wages paid to them are charged to the concerned contract directly or on the basis of wage analysis sheet. Maybe whatever type of work they are performing, I do not have any problem with that. If they are working on the site, suppose we are building a highway and there are 300 workers who are working on that particular highway. Now those workers can be doing any kind of task. Someone is, just wait for a second. Yeah. So sometimes these technical things keep on happening. Let's get back to the topic. So these 300 laborers might be performing anything in that particular relation. We do not have any problem with what kind of work they are doing. If they are working on the site, then such type of cost will be treated as a direct expense. I will not be differentiating on the basis of direct or indirect labor. Next is direct expenses. If there are direct expenses, charge them directly to contract account. Indirect expenses may be distributed over several contracts. If, however, the contract is big, labor hour method may be used for distribution of expenses. Now, like the expenses of supervisors. Supervisors might not be working only just on one contract. He may be working on 3 contracts at the same time. So whatever will be the supervisor's salary will be divided onto these 3 contract accounts, right? So indirect expenses are all those expenses which are not directly related with the production, but yes, they aid in the production process. So like supervisor's salary, surveyor's salary, these kind of things, if these particular people are working over 3 contracts, then their salary cost will be divided among these 3 contracts. Next is plant and machinery. See, what you have to do over here is you have to charge depreciation in the contract account. Either directly charge the depreciation or write the opening value as well as closing value. Both the options you have, but please keep it simple because for you that much detail is not required. If you are using plant and machinery in a contract in that particular scenario, please charge the depreciation which is occurring due to the use of that particular plant and machinery to respective contract account. Same principle applies over here as well. If this particular plant and machinery you are using, suppose for two contracts simultaneously, so the depreciation will also be bifurcated between two contracts. No one contract will bear the burden of depreciation alone. Next is subcontract. See, so I'll tell you. What happens in case of subcontract is, suppose I received the contract of building a road, correct? Now I might give this to someone else, a part of it to someone else. Suppose I got the contract to build a highway from Jaipur to Agra. This particular stretch has been received by me, that okay, whatever highway I will build, I will be building, my company will be building between Jaipur to Agra on national highway. Now I can divide this particular thing to some other people as well, means I can delegate my work to other as well. So suppose I have given the stretch between Jaipur and Dausa to one another contractor, right? So the stretch from Dausa to Bharatpur to another contractor, and I am building the stretch between Bharatpur and Agra. So see what will happen in this particular situation. So this is the highway which I have to build from Jaipur to Agra. I will be receiving 90 lakh rupees for this. This is my contract price. What is this? This is my contract price. I will be receiving 90 lakhs out of it. Now what I did was, the stretch between Jaipur to Dausa, and here is your Bharatpur. My name is A. I have given this particular stretch to another contractor called as B. This particular stretch to another contractor called C, and this one I am going to perform myself. So I have to give them the price as well. So I promised this person that I will pay you 15 lakhs. To this one I promise that I will pay you 20 lakhs. Correct? So now this is also my expense. In order to earn the income of 90 lakhs, I have to incur such kind of expenditures as well. So this is called as subcontract. Subcontract is when the work is not being performed by you and you have given this particular work to someone else, a part of it to someone else. You can give the whole as well, but mostly some part of it has been given. So subcontract costs are also debited to the contract account. Correct? Next is extra work. The extra work amount payable by the contractee should be added to the contract price. Now, what is the contract price? Contract price is the revenue which has been agreed between the contractor and the contractee. Contractee says that if you will perform this particular work, if you will build the highway between Jaipur and Agra, then I will pay you 90 lakhs. In this particular scenario, if contractee asks you that please perform this extra work as well, that after building the road, now you have to prepare your pavements as well. So in this particular scenario, you are calling for extra work, fine. You have to give extra payment as well. So whatever extra payment is given by contractee to the contractor is added to the contract price. Simple thing. Whatever revenue you are earning out of the contract will be credited to the contract account. I have made that contract account earlier in this video, where credit side will represent all the income, debit side will represent all the expenses. Correct? Now let's move. If extra work is substantial, then it is better to treat it as a separate contract. Now, the substantial means what? If it is not substantial, then expenses should be debited to the contract account as cost of extra work. Substantial means the work is having a separate identity of its own. If you think that the cost which you are going to incur on this extra work is huge, then in that case it depends on to your judgment if you want to treat it as a separate contract or not. If you feel like, then you can treat it as a separate contract. No one is stopping you from that. Now we'll be talking about few of the special terms which you need to remember. First, let's understand these terms, then we have to remember this, because this is very important from the MCQ's perspective as well, in order to solve smaller numerical type questions as well. So this part is very important. Let's see. Cost of work certified or value of work certified. A contract is a continuous process, and to know the cost or value of work completed as on a particular date, assessment of the work is carried out by the surveyor. See, whenever some expressways are built up, expressway like we have a expressway between Agra and Lucknow. So expressway, there are no other what you can say, the vehicles don't come and disrupt you. You can bring on the speed and you can reach your destination quite faster. The traffic related disturbances are not there. So in case of expressways, can you think that how much time they take? Sometimes they take 2 years. If the funding is slow, then they can also take more than 2 years or 3 years, right? So in this particular scenario, the contract is not getting finished within 1 year. This is an ongoing process. Now tell me, shall I wait for 2 years in order to find out that what is my profit? No. Every year end, I have to make financial statements. I have to show that what is the cost which has been incurred till date and what is the profit which I have earned till date. So this is the calculation what we are performing over here, because we all are aware that contracts continue for a longer period of time, and it becomes very important for the enterprise to find out whether they are in profits or not. So see, cost of work certified. Work certified means once you have performed a task. Suppose I have built up the stretch between Jaipur and Dausa. The distance between Jaipur and Agra is around 250 kilometers. The difference between Jaipur to Dausa is 60 kilometers, right? Once I have performed the work, there will be a person who will come and he will see my work and he will give a certificate that okay, construction of 60 kilometers has been complete. Now once construction of 60 kilometers has been complete, contractee will give me the portion of contract price which can be allocated to this particular stretch. Obviously, contractee has promised me that he will give 90 lakh rupees to me. Now, shall I ask the 90 lakhs after the work has been complete? If I will work in this way, then I'll go bankrupt, right? Because I'll not be having any money to incur the cost and all those things. So what I want is that the contract price should be received by me in the proportion to the work done by me, right? Understood? So work certified means whatever work you have carried out, there will be a surveyor who will come and he will do the assessment, and after that he will certify that how much percent of work has been completed. Why this is important? Because on the basis of this, contractee will give me funds. Contractee will give me certain portion of the contract price. Are you guys understanding what I am teaching? Tell me. You are finding it easy, difficult, moderate, or what? Just give me a feedback instantly, because I'm not listening anything from you guys. So I actually cannot make up my mind that whether you are understanding it well or not. Tell me your thoughts. I'm waiting for it. Good. Fine. Finding it easy or tough? Tell me one more thing. So I hope that you are finding it easy. I am trying to make it super easy with the explanations and all those things. Still, if you are not understanding something, please let me know at that particular moment. See over here. So how you will find out the value of work certified? This is find out by multiplying value of contract. Suppose 90 lakhs is the value of contract. I will be receiving 90 lakh rupees multiplied by surveyor has given the report that 20% of the work has been completed. Contract value of contract is what? 90 lakhs. This has been decided between the contractor and contractee. Contractee said that if you will complete the road between Jaipur and Agra, then I will give you 90 lakh rupees. So value of contract has come from there. Next, work certified. You have completed the stretch which is there between Jaipur and Dausa. So the surveyor has came, he does the assessment, he told that 20% of work has been completed. So this is how you will find out value of work certified. Next is cost of work certified. Now this is the revenue that you will be earning. 18 lakhs is the revenue because I have multiplied with the value of contract. This is my revenue. I have to find out that in order to earn this 18 lakh, how much cost I had to incur. So whatever cost you have incurred till date less cost of work uncertified and material in hand along with plant at site. So total cost, whatever you have incurred till date less cost of work uncertified along with the material that you already have in your hand because you have not incurred it. So work uncertified is that portion of the work which has not been assessed by the surveyor. So whatever amount of cost you have incurred in it, add in it the material, stock of material which you have in hand and the cost of plant at site. This is how you will be able to know that what is your cost of work certified. So suppose my cost of work certified is 13 lakhs. So this has provided me the answer 18 lakhs less 13 lakhs, my profit is 5 lakhs. Next, progress payments are what? I have just explained you that contractors receive payments. We receive revenue from the contractee. Why? For the work done on the contract. Whatever work we have performed, contractee will pay for it. Why he will pay for it? Because we cannot assume that we will be receiving all the payment at the end. That will make us bankrupt. We are not going to follow that particular practice. So see, payment or running payment. This is paid based on the certificate which is issued by the surveyor. This is what we call it as work certified. So progress payments are always received on the basis of work certified. Next, progress payment, value of work certified, less retention money, less payment to date. This is how it will be calculated. Whatever value of work that has been certified already, retention money means your contractee does not gives you total money. If 20% of the work has been complete, then that means 18 lakh worth of money work has been complete. But they will never pay you practically total 18 lakhs. They will always retain certain amount of money. So that is called as retention money. Less payment up to date. Whatever payment has been made till date. This will be your progress payment. Progress payment means you are entitled to receive this particular payment because you have done work for this. Now let's see what does retention money means. A contractor does not receive full payment of the work certified by the surveyor. Contractee retains some amount like 10 to 20% to be paid, and it is ensured that there is no fault in the work carried out. If any deficiency is noticed, it is to be rectified by the contractor before the release of retention money. It is a safeguard for the contractee. It is the safeguard for the contractee. Suppose if 20% of the work has been complete and if contractee will release the total payment, then in that particular scenario it will be very difficult for the contractee if later on some defects comes out in the process, in the work. So this is particular thing, that's why retention money has been kept. Retention money is value of work certified less payment which has actually been made. Next is cost of work uncertified. How to find out the cost which has been yet not assessed by the architect or the surveyor. So find out what is your total cost. Now deduct from it cost of work certified because that has already been assessed. Material stock which you have in hand, value of plant at site less cost of work uncertified. This is the result. So total cost up to date. See, plant at site means what? What happens is, in the case of contract, you don't know that how much your plant will be used or how much wear and tear will occur into your plant. So I have told you that there are two methods, either directly charge the depreciation. You could also have written depreciation in its place. But plant at site means in total cost up to date, you will add opening value of plant and here you are writing closing value of plant. Automatically, if at the start of the contract opening value of plant was 10 lakhs and at the closing the closing value is 7 lakhs. That means 3 lakh rupees has been used. So that is your total cost. And this is how work uncertified will be calculated. Next is cash receipt. It is ascertained by deducting the retention money from the value of work certified. Whatever work has been assessed by the surveyor, this much you should have received, less value of retention money. That means that obviously total will not be paid by the contractee. So retention money has to be deducted and you will be finding out that what is the cash received by you. Next is what is work in progress? So see, I have told you that financial statements are prepared at the end of the year. But contracts are not bound to be completed at the end of the year. It takes some amount of time for the contracts to complete. But at the end of the year, I want to know that what is the work has been complete and what is the work which is still in the process. So work in progress means that it is not even raw material and it is not even finished goods. This is somewhere in between. Some amount of work has been complete and some amount of work is yet to be done. So this is your work in progress. Now let's see value of work in progress, how to find out. It consists of cost of work completed, cost of work not yet completed and the amount of profit taken as credit. So work in progress is usually shown under two heads, under certified as well as uncertified. The cost of work completed and certified and the profit credited will appear under the certified work WIP, and which has not been certified, their labor, material and expenses will be shown under the head uncertified. The difference over here is that once your work is certified, then that means you are eligible to receive contract price which is relevant for that particular section of work. Hence, you are also adding the profit. But in the next scenario, your work has not yet been certified and you are not eligible to recognize profit. If you have seen accounting standard AS9, that is revenue recognition, in that we clearly talk about you should recognize revenue or profit only when you are sure that you are going to receive it. So once the work has been certified, I am sure that I am eligible to receive this. Hence, such kind of WIP will be credited along with profit, and such WIP which is yet uncertified, that will not have any profit element in it. It will be valued at the cost of material, labor and direct expenses incurred for it. Next is notional profit. Notional profit is the difference between value of work certified less cost of work to date, cost of work not yet certified. So, in this particular scenario, see, I will simplify this particular thing. They want to say value of work certified. Value of work certified means the portion of work that has been assessed, and for value means we have multiplied the percentage with contract price. This is my revenue. I will deduct it cost of work certified. Whatever amount of cost that has been incurred by me in order to complete this work which has been certified, this will be deducted and that will be my notional profit. Notional profit and normal profit means profit. When the total profit is realized, that will be called as profit. But right now, I am receiving the payments in installments as per the work which I have done. right? So I will call it as notional profit. They are doing that. Cost of work to date means total cost whichever has been incurred, and less cost of work uncertified. So from the cost which you have incurred, you are removing the cost of work uncertified. So this bracket means you want to find out that what is the cost of work certified. This reduction is happening within the bracket. So if you want to find out notional profit, this is the formula: value of work certified less cost of work certified. Next is estimated profit. Estimated profit is the excess of contract price over the estimated total cost. This you want to find out that what your total cost is and what is the contract price. Whatever is the excess, that is your called as estimated price. So this is the part of contract costing that we have done today. If what all we have discussed, we discussed about material, direct labor, overheads, right? Apart from it, what things you need to remember this before we can carry out tomorrow. I have not included so many concepts today because otherwise it would have become a bit of typical for you guys. So yeah, tomorrow when you are going to come in the class, I want you to remember that what is the how work certified is valued. What is the difference between the value of work certified and the cost of work certifies? The difference between the value of work certified and cost of work certified is called as the notional profit. Notional profit is not the complete profit, it is the proportionate profit whatever you have earned. Next thing, what you should also understand is progress payments. Progress payments are the payments which are you are entitled to receive from the contractor, right? So whatever work you have done and that has been assessed by the architect, you are eligible to receive the payment. But remember this particular thing, that not all the total payment you are entitled to receive. There is some amount of it that has been retained by the contractee. You also understand that in the practical world, nobody gives you total payment in one go. There everyone waits that okay, you have performed the work, now let us check that particular work. If any kind of defects will come, then we will see and you will complete that defect. You will make sure that that defect is removed, and once you do that, then after we will give you the retention money. So in progress payments and as well as your other cash received, progress payments and as well as cash receipts, in both these scenarios, it is very important for you to understand the role of retention money. Lastly, your cost of work uncertified. Work uncertified is that portion of work which has not yet been assessed by the surveyor or the architect. It is very important that architect of the contractee comes and he sees that whether the work has been performed, it has been correctly performed or not, what is the percentage of work performed, and on the basis of the certificate which has been given by the architect, we progress further. So remember how you find out the cost of work uncertified: whatever cost you have incurred till date less cost of work certified less material in hand, and then plant at site. Opening value of plant at site you write it over here, and the closing value you write it over here. The difference automatically comes out as depreciation and you do not have to include that separately, right? So this is your cost of work uncertified. I want you to remember how to calculate work certified, work uncertified, notional profit, progress payments, meanings of everything, definition of all of these, as well as how to calculate them. Because remember this particular thing, in your exam you will not be asked to prepare a contract account. What you will be asked to do is these calculations. Next day means tomorrow, when we are going to discuss the another part of your contract costing, the things will become a little bit more difficult, right? So before it becomes difficult, I want you to revise this particular thing again and again so that you are having a great idea about it. If you want to see that what you have to revise: cash received, work uncertified, retention money, right? This is the retention money concept, as well as progress payments, and we have already discussed the work certified. So this is it for today's class. I hope that you are able to understand the basic concepts of contract costing. We are going to continue this tomorrow. Please stay tuned and please try to attend the class in live so that I can ask questions and you can also respond to them. Thank you so much.